The dark night of the soul. We all experience it 5, 6, 7 times on our journey. We think we have it all figured out. And then we realize we don't know shift. Hello everyone, I am Michael and I help guide people on the evolutionary journey. We're all on a journey and I'm taking the journey with all of you. And the dark night of the soul is one of the roughest parts of our journey. And you might have experienced the dark night of the soul. You might have experienced the dark night of the soul 6 or 7 times on your journey. But our whole life gets rapidly ripped apart. Whatever we thought was our life, it crumbles right before us, and we have a dark night of the soul. We realize that we can no longer operate with what we were working with. The soul, the energy that operates the body. And when we go through the dark night of the soul becomes tired of operating the body under these conditions. So you might be going through a dark period in your life and you feel like everything is falling apart, and it is. What was familiar and comfortable is no longer familiar and comfortable anymore. You know, I thought I had it all figured out. And then rapidly, everything can come crashing down. And it's a journey. A trip is planned. A journey has twists and turns. And that's what we're going on right now. And I hope that this message is helpful for all of you. We're in dark times right now. We don't know what's happening in the world. And we're going through these twists and turns and ups and downs and what's going to happen. So what we believed was true, what we believed, what was comfortable and familiar, no longer is anymore. And that's the dark night of the soul. So you wake up and all of a sudden you're looking around and you realize that your existence, what you've been doing, it no longer resonates with you. You know, many people have been having dark nights of the soul in the past year. So much pressure. There's so much pressure being applied right now. And the people of the world are all feeling this pressure. And so many changes have to be made. Changes to your job, changes to where you live, changes to your state of being. And that's where the dark night of the soul comes into play. You realize that everything has to change. And your ego is dying. And your soul is tired. The energy that operates the body. Come out in nature. Take it all in. And use it to help navigate the dark night of the soul. And I'm standing here in the vibration of authenticity to let you all know that I have experienced many dark nights of the soul on my journey. And now I'm going through another one. And it ain't comfortable, but it's helping us evolve. We're going into the unknown. We're all going into the unknown right now. But we're realizing that what was familiar and comfortable, it's not familiar and comfortable anymore. And everyone has different trials and tribulations on their journey. And your trials and tribulations, they might be different than mine. Mine might be different than yours. But each and every one of us will go through a dark night of the soul. And we have to awaken to our truth, the truth that comes from inside of us, clairsentience, our feelings. You have to feel what resonates with you, and you have to make your own decisions on your journey. And, a lot of people's free will at this time has been manipulated, if you will. So it ain't easy. It ain't easy, Light Warriors. It ain't easy waking up. It ain't easy waking up. And, sometimes you might realize that you know too much. That's kind of where I am right now. Sometimes, just like in the Matrix, you wish you didn't know as much. But you realized that you know too much. And then you're looking around and say, look at what was all around me. And I'm just realizing it now. So you could wake up into a totally new reality, a totally new world. And you'll never be the same. And you have to dig deep, and you have to listen to yourself, and you're going to have to make changes. Evolution happens under great pressure. I, like all of you, are under great pressure. I'm in a dangerous place, an unknown place, it seemed like home for many years. Now it's no longer familiar and comfortable. And so many changes need to take place for each and every one of us. We're all struggling with some kind of aspect in our lives. And we have to think about how we're going to move forward. We got to move forward slowly, but you need to start off with change, because, as Einstein said, insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So when you go through the dark night of the soul, it's going to push you a little bit out of your comfort zone. And you're going to be forced to start thinking differently and start to make changes on your journey. But only you yourself know the answers. You know the answers. And it's very hard when you're going through the dark night of the soul. Spend time out in nature. Spend time with loved ones. And spend time with God. A lot of people are losing family during this time period. It's getting smaller and smaller. It's getting tighter and tighter. Like I said, it's getting tighter and tighter. And it's getting real tight right now. There's a tight squeeze. And, we don't know what the future holds. And it could be a very scary place. And the dark night of the soul is a very scary place. I've had a dark night of the soul many times. And now I'm having another one. So I want each and every one of you to know that this happens on your evolutionary journey all the time. I could reflect back and, on past dark nights of the soul and thinking that, I needed something, and back then it was such a big deal and it created a dark night of the soul, and now something different comes up. So, you're going to experience the dark night of the soul many times. And it's just teaching you, each time you have one, it's teaching you more about yourself. It's teaching you more about your evolutionary journey. And it's important to try to let go. You know, even myself, I struggle very much with trying to let go. But when we let go, God is going to catch us, even though it feels like you're not being caught. But you have to really listen to yourself, and you also have to allow God to do the work with you, step by step. So there's a lot involved when it comes to the dark night of the soul. Are you experiencing a dark night of the soul, or have you experienced a dark night of the soul in the past? Why don't you leave it in the comments? The comments help other people navigate this time period. It is a dark night, but in the end, it will be the victory of the light. If you find this message interesting and you would like to learn more about our reality in terms of energy, frequency, and vibration, why don't you click subscribe, give the video a like so it becomes visible to more people, and please share with one other person, because when we all share with one other person, we will rapidly grow our 5D community. In the highest state of consciousness is the vibration of authenticity. And I'm out here authentically letting you all know that we all go through these dark nights of the soul because we think we have it all figured out. And then we realize the truth cannot be told, it can only be realized. We realize that we didn't have it figured out at all. So realize this on your journey and know that the dark night of the soul, it's very common. It's going to happen many times on your journey. But in the end, the dark night of the soul is going to help you become the person that you came here to be. Remember, we cannot control what is around us. However, we can control from within. Be conscious of the dark night of the soul, listening to yourself and letting go. Use this to raise your vibration and increase your electromagnetism. Life is so much better when we are all together. If you find this message inspiring or know someone that could benefit from it, please share this message. Dear ones, I am Michael. Find us in the 5th dimension. Have a wonderful day living your everyday life. We all think we have it figured out. There's a lot of fake gurus out there. But the common everyday life people need to stick together during this time period. If we let go, God will help us through. And that's what I need to do during this time period, because insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. So sometimes we need to try new things, and I hope that this message helps you get through the dark night of the soul. Start to try new things on your journey, and when you start to try these new things, it's going to help you get out of this pit. It's going to help you get out of the dark night of the soul, because your soul is crying out for something new. And you have to provide your soul with something new. Change up a routine, do something different, change your diet, change your location, do something. And then you'll manage the dark night of the soul. You'll figure more out about this world. We're all figuring it out together. I'm figuring it out along with all of you, light warriors. So sometimes, you know, we get into that pit of fear and we just want to hold on. But sometimes we need to let go. If we let go, there's a whole world out there for us to experience. And that's what we need to do when we go through the dark night of the soul. Let go and try something different. In the end, at least you could say, at least I tried. At least I tried. That's what we need to do. And I've been doing it on my journey the last few years, trying new things. And now I need to try even more new things, because the old reality, it's not working out anymore. It's not working out anymore. So we have to keep trying. We have to keep growing. And we have to keep going. I am the defender of our everyday lives. Victory of the light. And so it is. Somehow I'm still alive. I'm still alive. I've survived all these dark nights of the soul, light warriors. So I'm still standing, and I hope that this message helps you. I know many people deal with depression on their everyday life journey. Please visit the channel page for more videos to help you get through dark nights of the soul. I'll share more links for the dark night of the soul. I've shared many videos on the science of depression, so you can understand what depression means. And guess what? We're all going through this together. We're taking the journey together. I'm very grateful for our Patreon community. Please connect on Patreon. I speak a little bit more on Patreon over there. You can check that out. And we're all starting our new lives again and again and again. We're constantly starting our new lives. So that's why it's a journey. A trip is planned, and a trip is planned, and a journey has twists and turns, and that's what we're going through right now. So I love you all, and I assure you, I know the importance of sharing the dark night of the soul, because we're all going through it, especially right now. Love you all. I hope that this message was helpful for all of you. Have a great day. Namaste.